Welcome to episode 73 of Winging It. One more game to go, guys. One more to get out of the way before we can head back to Wembley again. Ole, ole. I've got Hesketh, I've got Albert. It's the crew. Apparently.
Albert don't like it. Why don't you like it?
I know we shouldn't leave awkward silences, but it's very difficult to make a noise when you're wincing.
What collective name do you like instead then?
Uh,
Gang? Posse?
What's the collective noun for three Winging It presenters?
Yeah.
I don't think it's appropriate to say such a word at the top of the show.
No.
You don't?
No. A minge of podcasters.
Anyone got any beer?
No, I can't afford beer anymore after buying those tickets today.
Yeah, I mean, I also never have beer, so not me. What do you have, Terence?
Well, in honour of this week's opponents, I've just got a neckle by Beavertown.
Because it's Tottenham?
Yeah, Beavertown's a Tottenham brewery.
Oh.
And it is, and they
come on.
They sell Beavertown inside the stadium as well. Cool. If you'd ever been there to see one of our many defeats, you'd know this.
It's definitely another ground where I've had a ticket but not gone. Don't remember why.
We'll talk about Spurs later. There's more important things to talk about right now, which is the Tasty Jerk being featured on the official Premier League channel, Albert.
Apology accepted.
Was you involved in this?
No, if only I was. I'd love to have been one of those people outside. I mean, when the video came up, I just thought it was just a Palace thing. It's only when you look at, when it's it's linked to several accounts. It was like, fuck, hang on. This is the official Premier League Instagram account. So, no mean feat by the boys and girls at the Tasty Jerk. Finally, some respect on the name.
I've come a long way from that 1-star hygiene rating.
Listen, Premier League cash sloshing around. It's done wonders for the club. It's done wonders for the area. And it's done wonders for the Tasty Jerk. I could afford to evict the cockroaches. So,
can I ask you, Albert, does it lessen it slightly for you that they've got a good hygiene rating now? Because you were there pre. You were there. You were OG.
Yes. So apparently, I was one of the cockroaches. No, it doesn't. I never noticed any hygiene deficiencies, to be honest. But that's probably because of all the smoke. Can't really see much in there, to be honest. And they don't do things like hike their prices on match day, unlike some other local establishments.
In the time that you were chatting there, I asked AI to give me some collective words for podcasters. A buffering of podcasters.
Buffering is good.
A tangent. A waffle.
Yeah. Both very apt.
A red and blue waffle.
Yeah, I was going to say, as long as it's not blue, we're all right.
Why? Why would you mention that? I haven't thought about that for about 20 years.
I doubt it even comes up if you Google it anymore.
Yeah, nice try. To be fair, blue waffle sounds like a beer that you drink.
It does.
What you got this week? Can of blue waffle.
Tagging.
Imagine the blurb.
Okay, enough blue waffle. Let's talk about serious stuff. Believe it or not, Everett Eze has won a chess tournament.
And
against?
Yeah. I watched some of it because I'm cool. Legit, I watched. I just thought I didn't know it was a tournament. I watched one game. I don't play chess, so I don't really know what was going on. he seemed very confident that he was going to win, and then he did. So good for him.
What tournament is this?
I think it was on legitimately like chess.com. And they had
I think they were celebrities though, right? Or
yeah.
So it wasn't like he was beating Magnussen or whatever his name is.
Yeah, definitely. No,
world number one.
I don't know who the guy he was playing. I was going to say fighting there. Still in the world of wrestling. But he was very confident. He sang the Mateta song at one point. That was quite good. But yeah, as I say, I don't really understand chess, so I was just good for him.
When he went to take someone with his queen, did he do a little stuttery?
Yeah, he did.
And then
flip the board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good, I don't know. Good for him. He won for like 15 grand or something, didn't he? Doing it. Obviously, fuck all to him, but decent night's work.
Not only is there pure magic in the boots of Eze, he'll even beat you at chess.
Yep.
Outrageous. And if, like Evs, you've just won a chess tournament for 15k, maybe you can bid on a signed FA Cup semi-final ball. 5 of them are on sale.
When you say on sale, you mean up for auction?
Up for auction, yeah. I think
What's
they're ranging between sort of 230 quid and 400 quid at the moment. 3 days to go.
Signed by who? Just
Chile here.
The whole Palace squad.
Oh,
okay.
Esri Konsa.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you say 200 quid?
That's the cheapest one at the moment. It will not be that in 3 days' time, obviously.
So that's not that much more than a ticket.
I'm keeping my powder dry for the final winning ball, you see.
Jeez.
I've always wanted Haaland's signature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, all for a good cause, I'm assuming.
I guess so.
Okay. Send me a link.
It's match-worn shirts. It's on the official site. You can pick it up from there if you want a link. See where we're at in a few days. Talking of semi-finals, Palace under-21s are into the Premier League 2 semi-final where they will face Southampton after a 3-1 win over Brighton and a stonking 6-0 victory over Chelsea in the quarter-final. Hindalo Mustafa is some player, and he's already been linked to Way Hesketh with, was it Ajax looking to pick him up permanently?
Yeah, he is a hell of a player. He's been good for a couple of seasons now, really, but this year he's really, really pushed on. Doesn't score average goals. I think we talked about him last week because I think he was in a goal of the month vote. Against Chelsea, he scored 2 absolute bangers. One was sort of a run from the halfway line to about 30 yards out, pinged the top corner. And the second was a nice little layoff from Mola, and he just on the half volley just rifled it in. He's quality. He's really good. Obviously, I hope he doesn't go anywhere permanently. I think he's being talked up a lot, and the coaching staff were there watching him against Chelsea. He also got linked with Portsmouth on loan, and their manager has been to see him 3 or 4 times apparently. He tried. I saw an interview with the Portsmouth manager trying to keep it quite casual and say, "Oh, there's loads of players that I could be looking at." But yeah, he's 18. He looks very, very good. If he can get a championship loan and do well next year, that's great. So hopefully that's the way it goes.
Lovely. And watching that 6-0 against Chelsea, is it Drapes Thomas?
Yeah. Also good.
Baller. I mean, obviously young and raw, but my goodness, he's very good with the ball at his feet and seems to understand the game pretty well. Yeah,
I've seen him a few times for the 18s, and he's only 15, so playing for the 18s is, good enough. But yeah, he came on for the 21s, looks really good. He's just really good. Like, he just goes at people, He's just very direct. I think he's very highly rated. He's been one of the youngsters who's trained with the first team as well this year. So I think a lot of things were expected of him. But to get any kind of minutes for the under-21s when you're 15 is pretty insane. So can see him getting fast track next year.
Lovely stuff. And still on semi-finals, Albert, Millwall will not be in the playoff semi-finals after falling to a 3-1 defeat at Burnley on the final day.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I bet genuinely you're quite gutted though, because you were probably looking forward to Oysters away at the Den again next year.
Ole, ole.
Oysters again. Yeah. It would have been funny to have them in the Premier League?
No, not really. No.
Just stick to beating them in the Cup.
Yeah.
Southampton literally hold on to the new record for 1 year.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, they would.
Although saying that, I'd imagine a lot of teams would shit themselves going to the Den, so they probably wouldn't, to be honest. But there you go. But they at 0-0, maybe, or 1-0. Did they go 1-0 up, Millwall?
Yeah, they did, and went into the playoffs.
And at 1-0, they missed an absolute sitter, or 1-1 to go 2-0 up.
Yeah.
Open goal from like 2 yards out. Yeah. Oh well. Finals aren't, semi-finals and finals aren't for everyone. But talking of finals, Palace will be wearing red and blue with the lesser spotted white socks, which is a common feature against Manchester City when we played them. And I think it was exactly what Townsend was wearing when he absolutely hammered that volley from...
Did that happen at the home game this season?
Potentially. Done it a few times.
Well, I think this season. I have no visual
No, because they wore that stupid away kit, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't think they wore their home kit.
The neon yellow thing.
Yeah,
that rings a bell.
Apparently, we also wore white socks on Survival Sunday as well against Sheffield Wednesday. So.
Now that I can very clearly envisage. Well, there you go. White sock army.
Was that because Clint Hill had them wrapped around the Sheffield Wednesday fan's neck on the pitch or something? Get a lot of money for that these days. And for the final, the tickets have sold out by phase 2, and it's obviously caused quite a lot of controversy, given that it didn't even get out of the phase where season ticket holders are still included. Now, obviously, we get around 3,000 fewer tickets for the final than we do for the semi. So let's just do a nice round numbers of 30,000. Somewhere between 18 and 19,000 season ticket holders.
Mm-hmm.
Which is suggesting that we have around 11,000 gold members stroke junior Eagles. Feels like a lot.
Do we think there might have been a big wave of could you buy gold membership before the semi-final tickets went on sale with the whole all memberships must be bought in the next 10 minutes and you're still eligible for tickets? Do you think there might have been a huge swathe?
Feels like a lot though. I mean, they definitely reduced the price of the gold membership, or was it season ticket plus? One of the two they reduced to like 40 quid from 50 quid.
Yeah, season ticket plus went down 5 or 10 quid, yeah.
And as soon as
you could just buy that as a bolt on.
Yeah.
If you're a season ticket holder.
Yeah, before the semi-final,
You could upgrade by a certain point.
Fuck it, what a liberty.
Fucking liberty.
Fucking liberty.
Yeah. But at least then you would have got probably to see on Palace TV, which you get with season ticket plus, you would have been able to see the 3-1 against Brighton and the 6-0 against Chelsea.
It's on my to-do list.
But, I mean, if we break it down, so phase 1 was season ticket holders with plus. So season ticket plus holders, away season ticket holders, of which I think there are that's limited to 500. But you probably assume that 99, if not 100% of them have season tickets anyway. Maybe not all plus, but... And then season ticket holders with 8,500 points or more. And then gold or junior gold members with 8,500. So I'm not really bothered with anything in that bracket. Because you maybe not had a season ticket for a couple of years, if you've still got loads of loyalty points, because for whatever reason you might not have been able to go for the last couple of years, I think I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
It's like 8,500. What's that, like 16, 17 seasons a season ticket? It's like
I'm just shy of that. Although, let's ask the big question: do I get 715 loyalty points after today?
I doubt it. Is that how much you spent on tickets today?
Yeah,
you'll get 20, and you'll like it.
and that's, you'll be lucky if they go on.
Yeah, but you have to queue up at the box office, write it on a bit of paper, go away. 3 years later, ring them up, see if they remember.
Yeah, I was going to say you're going to have to phone the box office and listen to Glad All Over 4 times, but I think you might have to listen to Elvis 4 times now.
Sung by Terry Byfield, by the way.
I was going to say, how many times I've got to listen to Terry Byfield?
And remember, I don't know why I do the impression. I can just click the button.
Every match
day. Yeah, I've got no problems with phase 1. I think that makes sense. Phase 2, all remaining season ticket holders and gold or junior members, no loyalty point requirements, 1 ticket per person. Now, this is obviously where you end up in a scenario of anyone who's just bought a gold membership the other day. So, i.e., a tout, for example, who could just buy a membership, then has as much right as a season ticket holder to buy a ticket for the final. Now, Hesketh, you said you saw a wonderful post on the BBS that says that season ticket holders don't know how good they've got it.
Yeah. The logic seemed to be that because season ticket holders have been to a lot of games because of their season ticket, they shouldn't have priority for the biggest game in the club's history. So sort of logic I don't really understand, to be honest.
Couldn't you have just replied to me privately, then bring it up in public? Do you know what I mean?
I just need to call you out. You're talking shit. The thing with memberships is you have to have a purchase history before the semi-final. But again, you could have bought a membership and bought
a gnome.
A gnome, exactly. Palace top trumps, and then you're in. And I know we've talked about, no one's going to be happy across the board with all these phases, but I do think it's a bit off that and obviously not all members have never been, and not all members, are covered by this, but I think season ticket holders who pay up front for a year, which thankfully it hasn't been this year, but you pay up front for a year that could be absolute dog shit, but you've already paid for it. I think it's a bit off that they are maybe missing out on decent seats as a result. Hopefully everyone got one, but I mean, I guess I've seen a few people saying that they're season ticket holders and they haven't got a seat. Maybe that's because they're waiting for another phase and now it's too late. I don't know. But yeah, I think that the membership thing is something that is going to carry on if we keep doing well.
Yeah, I feel like with phase 2, there should have been another points bracket in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like if it's just like 2,000 or something like that, just something that just meant that it just can't be brand new members who have just bought it.
Yeah, if you think you're a season ticket holder and you've got 8,400 points and you're like, oh, fuck, I've just missed out on phase 1. And then, like as you just quite rightly said, Terence, a season ticket holder who's just bought one this season gets in there above that person. Yeah, it does feel like that could have been parted out a little bit, that phase. But to be fair, however they do it, there's going to be someone picking holes in it somewhere. Yeah, it's a shame.
Well, like that guy on the BBS saying, had it too good for too long. He's Roy Hodgson's us into submission. There's no argument to be had back.
The joy that will come if we ever do get into Europe and we've got an allocation of like 2,000 tickets is going to be fucking carnage. Caveat, I don't think we're getting into Europe.
If we win the final...
Are they Belgium? FC Caveat.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, shit them.
Caveat away. Let's go.
Look, if we get to Europa League and I haven't got tickets for all of our away games, I will be going down to Beak Street and kicking off. Let it be known.
You've been warned. You'll answer for your crimes.
I'll be one way taxi from NoHo to no, sorry, not NoHo, Sono. That's what we call South Norwood. Sono to Soho. I'll be down there.
Smooth.
I almost nailed it. But obviously, I think where a lot of the pissed offness has come from fans that didn't get tickets, or how many are already on the touts websites and rebuy websites and all that for an awful lot of money. Now, if you want to do comparisons to the City end of the stadium, there are a lot more in the City end of the stadium on resale sites than there are in the Palace end, but there are still tickets appearing in the Palace end, and it kind of points in the direction that people who have just bought memberships have got a ticket and then gone straight on there to try and cash in on what they've bought. Disappointing.
How much are we talking?
A lot. So I think there's a Bobby Moore ticket on the Palace section for about $3,000. There's one for $5,000 as well. He's already won the FA World Cup. What's he need the FA Cup for?
Let someone else have a go.
I don't know. I haven't got the prices up, but they're a lot. They got like 600, getting up into the 600 region. £75 tickets going for 300 and odd quid.
Oh dear.
But anyway, where did you guys get your tickets?
Where?
Yeah. What block you in? So people can come and harass you if they want. Tell you to stop.
I thought Albert was going to drop the Crystal Palace ticketing website.
What do you think I am? 1 for 1. Hang on.
1 for 1.
1 for 1. No, I'm done. 140. I take it back.
140.
Fake news. I am in. Albert is showing me his phone. I can confirm.
Don't tell him what's on it.
Is that Ian Botham?
What are you thinking?
Oh shit!
That is my moment of the season. That's the moment of the podcast season.
Looking back, I've just been reminded that it was obviously one of the people that I'm buying for is Arthur on Arthur's season ticket. Adult, 175 quid. Child, a whopping discount, 165 quid.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Indeed.
Wow.
I just bought an adult. I just assigned him an adult one. Fuck it. In for a penny, in for £175.
So sorry, Hesketh, you're in 1-3.
I'm in 1-3-1.
1-3-5 for me. I'm perfectly positioned in the final row of £75 tickets before they became 125. Lovely placement.
Nice. Good job.
So we're sort of quite evenly spread out then.
I tried to get our exact seats from the semi-final, but some swine ahead of me got them. So I'm basically the row behind.
Name and shame the ticket number, because then if we lose, we know who to blame.
Yeah.
If you're in block 132, row 34.
It's your fault.
268 to 271. This is on you.
Some gold member wanker.
Exactly.
Okay, so with loads of tickets going up for sale on these touting websites, begs the question, what would you sell your ticket for?
I wouldn't sell my ticket for anything, but Arthur's ticket.
my small child's ticket.
Yeah. Who's blissfully unaware that he's got one at the moment.
Avid listener of the pod. He'll find out tomorrow morning.
Avid listener of the pod. Don't tell Bernie.
He's been on the pod.
No, that was Bernie.
Oh, was it?
That was Bernie. I wouldn't sell
it. Watford fans look the same.
I wouldn't sell it to anyone for any more than I'd paid for it.
That's not in the spirit of things. We know you wouldn't do that, but just in a hypothetical world where all of a sudden some Saudi billionaire comes over to you and really wants a ticket for the FA Cup final. But he's also a bit like savvy with money, so he's not gonna overpay too much.
God, this has been very. Is he married or has he got kids to feed?
He is married. He's got 4 kids and he's left-handed.
Someone would need to give me with definitely 4 figures for me to even think about it.
I'm glad that you didn't slag off left-handed people.
It's not fair, is it?
Because I'm left-handed.
Mm.
So leave me alone.
Mm.
To be honest, my answer is if someone can guarantee Albert on permanent holiday, tickets theirs. But that does not include Albert himself. You can't just take yourself off on holiday.
Mm.
Well,
have you got a left-handed checkbook?
Yeah, left-handed paintbrush.
Oh, it's all smudged. He's doing it. He's just done a gesture with his left hand for those who can't see.
Yeah. You try.
So I use my left hand for that as well.
Wouldn't you be doing it like this though, left-handed?
I'm being absolutely assassinated here, and I don't like it.
This is not a visual podcast, so we do apologise.
Thank fuck for that.
Maybe I'll make a GIF of that. Put it up on the socials.
Why has the listenership gone down to naught?
Please fill out our survey.
We'll get to that at the end. Thank you to everyone who has filled out the survey. Right, but we've got to move on. Swiftly on. Yeah, flick of the wrist onto the next. Eagle Football Holdings have been given strike-off notice by Companies House.
What does that mean?
Gentlemen, you played a good game. It's not your fault, but this is fucking...
I don't know. So I went back to my old friend AI and asked, what does it mean? And they gave a lot of spiel. But in short, it says, the compulsory strike-off notice for Eagles Football Holdings represents a significant corporate governance issue that Crystal Palace supporters should monitor closely. While the immediate impact on day-to-day club operations may be minimal, the development adds another layer of complexity to an already uncertain ownership situation. For Palace fans, the most prudent approach is cautious concern rather than alarm. The club's multi-owner structure provides some protection against issues affecting a single stakeholder, even one with the largest individual stake. However, the financial and administrative questions raised by this notice could influence the club's medium to long-term stability depending on how the situation resolves. I mean, I'm not surprised they're hiding their accounts for 11 months now. That's what they're late in posting their accounts. Given what's been going on at Lyon and so on, you get the sense that there is some problems there, but not much of it is really in the public sphere at the moment.
How much money do you get for being runner-up in the FA Cup?
$2.5 million.
Really?
I don't know why that rings a bell.
Does that pay for legal fees for his suing the Brazilian FA? Put it on the merry-go-round. Which club needs it next?
And ideally, there'd be some change left over for some skateboard wheels.
Yeah. You know what it sounds like to me?
Fucking
corruption.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm incorrect. It's $2 million for the winners, $1 million for the runners-up.
We quid's in.
Quid's in.
We quid's in.
Well,
and you get a runners-up medal.
Ooh.
Especially on top of the, according to the ticket numbers, the $500,000-ish that we've made through gold membership sales.
Yeah.
We've paid.
That's why he's hiding the accounts, because there's actually too much fucking money in there.
Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I'm hoping it's just to do with he's taking so long because it's just taken the whole process of trying to offload his shares. But unsurprisingly, another Texas scenario that is going to get messy, and with it might just be an administrative error, given that Leon can't play in Europe next season, can they? Even if they qualify. Because
really?
Because of an administrative error, they didn't apply for the thing they needed. And given that the French football authorities already hate him, I don't think they're going to take a lenient approach and let him off. No,
he's burnt that bridge.
Well, it's good though.
That suitably generic summary by AI has
answered
really,
no questions.
Well, it's put my mind at ease, if anything.
Yeah, but it's brand new news, so more will develop over the next couple of days, I imagine. Might even be more out by the time you listen to this podcast. So there you go. But listen, we're in an FA Cup final. It can't all be going smooth and plain sailing. We've got to have some jeopardy going on at Palace, otherwise it won't feel right. But maybe this is going to be the beautiful offset that's going to see us win it. Fine.
See us win it, but then that bailiff that served Dowie the writ
just comes up the stairs
to the pitch and slaps Texter around the face with an envelope.
I thought you could say he was just going to reprocess the trophy. He's the one who lifts it, just as Mark Gay's holding it up. He just takes it out of his hands. Yoink. Not yours. Okay, well, hopefully that situation will resolve, but fuck knows.
Let's have faith in him. Let's have faith in him. Right?
Why?
He's never let anyone... Yeah, I was just trying to be nice. Sorry.
You can do it, Johnny.
I don't know. Look, he is what he is. He's a cowboy, isn't he? He wore the hat. If the hat fits.
Yeah.
Cowboy on a skateboard.
Gentlemen, you played a good game. It's not your fault, but this is fucking corruption.
Thanks.
Thanks. Right, let's talk about Forest, shall we? There was probably a Sheriff of Forest joke in there somewhere, but I've missed it. You didn't go, did you, Albert?
I didn't.
Oh.
No, I was... Huh?
Well, I was going to ask if you sung your lungs out to Elvis just before kickoff.
No, I didn't. I was still a bit hoarse from shouting at my kids all day at Legoland. The other Coliseum.
Legoland and the Minecraft experience all within a week of each other.
Yes. Yeah.
That's quite block heavy.
Dad point heavy as well. Thank you very much.
Okay, good.
Yeah. The Legoland was fine. The Minecraft experience the day after the semi-final was not fine.
Day of the London Marathon, which runs
Also,
around where it is.
Yeah. It was a very disorientating time. No, but I didn't. I think I even missed the first couple of minutes of kickoff, getting the kids to bed. So I missed all pre-match regalia.
Well, it was beautiful on Sky Sports because they have Anthony Taylor on there talking about the decisions he made in the Crystal Palace Brighton game.
Great.
And it was the first I'd heard. Yeah. And it was the first
to do that.
Well, it's a good thing. I feel like they should be out there a bit more talking about these things.
Yeah.
Except for when you hear that the reason he booked Nketiah was for simulation because he feels like Nketiah initiated the contact. Which is, he just runs.
Yeah,
like he's just running.
Line.
There's no putting his leg out or anything. And he was remained completely unchallenged by the pundit. So you're just like, what's the fucking point of him being on there? If he's just going to stand there and talk about what he's watched on the screen, which hasn't happened, like, but it just shows he's obviously gone on the VAR and said, I think he's initiated contact. VAR's gone, there isn't enough to overturn that thought process. Carry on, no penalty.
Did he say why? No, different game. I was going to say why he said Richardson.
Another game where it was a shit ref, which is what we're about to get into, to be honest. But
if Sky knew what was good for him, at that point they should have said, and here he is tonight, Eddie Nketiah, and brought him in and like,
just or like head,
like a WWE sort of style. Oh my God! Like Eddie Nketiah comes on and just throws him off a turnbuckle.
Yeah,
he does a what? Sorry,
he does a Stone Cold Stunner.
Yes, which I believe you do have to initiate contact for,
or an RKO out of nowhere. I don't even watch that company, but it's for the bands, it's for the memes.
Or he could have just run at him and done a clothesline and said, "Use that to check for offsides." You
jabroni.
Yeah,
jabroni, very good.
Oh, we're in sync tonight, us three. Fucking hell,
what's happened?
We're like 4 female flatmates living together.
God, it's only taken 7 years of doing this, or whatever it is.
Except there's only 3 of us.
Oh, what's wrong with me? Can't count.
Yeah. We're in sync, but we can't do maths. It's fine.
Okay. So Anthony Taylor was pre-match on there. We sung Elvis, sort of hit and miss. I don't know the words. Well,
I need to do some
match day program. If you look,
I don't read that before the game.
Very Brighton. That felt like.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
At least they weren't on the screen.
True.
That would have been worse. But I don't know. I don't know if the HF was singing it or not. They definitely sung over the start of it, but they just might not have heard in there. Boom, ba-dum, boom, 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 boom. They might not have been hearing. I don't know. Good start to Palace for the game. Not Henderson, he doesn't play in goal for Forest anymore. Sells saves a Munoz volley at the back post. Bit disappointing finish for Munoz there, a bit straighty at him. Could have probably either side, I think he goes in.
I feel like he scored a goal similar to that for Colombia when he first signed for us. Yeah, maybe at West Ham Stadium.
It was, maybe. Yeah, that's right.
So he's definitely capable of it. But I mean, it was it was a decent save, but you probably expect him to do it, wouldn't you? So, be disappointed.
Yeah, and it kind of a trend of the keeper saving as the game went on. He's, I think he should be given whatever Premier League goalkeeper award there is for the season. Should probably go to Sells, to be honest, because every single time I've watched him on TV as well, he's just flat out making ridiculous saves. So, another good performance from him. Henderson at the other end saves from a Lango on a counter-attack. Nice. I mean, it's what Forest's bread and butter has been this season, really, those fast counters, and they pinned it together really nice. But Albert, my man Henderson, stood up strong. Up there as the best goalkeeper we've had in those scenarios, standing big and the ball just hitting him. Seems to happen an awful lot.
Yeah, I could sit here and waste everyone's time trying to scratch my head and think of one, but I'm not going to do it just to be a contrarian. So I mean, he's definitely worn a lot in the face, like you say, over the last sort of 12 months. So yeah, a really good performance, and he just looks very assured. I don't know how tall Dean Henderson actually is, but I'm always sort of surprised at how sort of slight he kind of is for when you compare him to a lot of other goalkeepers. But yeah, he manages to make up for that in just good positioning, and like you say, he knows how to I think he's about 6'2". Yeah, he manages to get those limbs wherever they fucking need to be. He's a bit like an octopus. It's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you think he looks a bit smaller than 6'2". You are kind of surprised when you see him in real life with how tall he is, and it's like the reverse to Glenn Murray. I remember I saw Glenn Murray and I was just like, "What the fuck? You look massive on a football field, and you're about the same size as me." But yeah, no, he's definitely deceptively tall, Dean Henderson.
Mm.
But yeah, good performance from him in the game as a whole. Continuing on from where he left off at Wembley, really, where he was great there as well. Not much else happens in the first half, except from, I think what's very clear as the game went on is that the Forest number 6, Sangare Hesketh, he can prove that Madley's brother fucked dogs because he's got the pictures. Because that could be the only excuse as to why the referee didn't book him.
Yeah, absolutely mad. Absolutely mad. I mean, it was a game where pretty quickly you could see they've mastered the rotational fouls. And even so, Sangare seemed to rotate in on those fouls a lot. Another player that eventually was taken off when he was very close to being given the hoof. But yeah, I mean, they got away with a lot. And to say that they ended the game with 8 bookings and that sort of felt like it wasn't enough says it all, really.
Horrible. I've just had to Google because I was like in my mind, was Bobby Madley, was it dogs that... The first headline that comes up, former Premier League referee Bobby Madley opens up on dog botherer rumours. What a headline.
Headline tomorrow, Bobby Madley files libel suit against...
It was a joke. I don't think Bobby Madley is a dog botherer.
I can confirm my dog currently is not bothered.
But yeah, I mean, twice Sangare should have been booked, definitely, in that half. Very, very bizarre decision not to book him. And it was upsetting Mark Gay greatly throughout that game. Second half, Sells again, this time from Sarr, but it is a beautiful build-up where Adam Wharton, who I thought was excellent in this game, I think it was in the first half, a brilliant pinged volley out wide to Munoz. Yep. One example of his brilliant vision. And then in this one, he uses a shimmy in a body, a great touch to get round the player, and then gets the ball out to, I think it goes Eze, Mateta, and then Sarr's through, tries to dink it over the goalkeeper a little bit, but Sells stands up, and then Albert then nearly down the other end scoring themselves. It was quite the passage of play. Yeah,
did they say it was like, oh, no, you wouldn't have known because you weren't there. I think they said it was something like 13 seconds between Sells' save and then the chance down the other end. I've got to say, obviously, pressure off. Obviously I want to win as many games as we can between now and the rest of the season, but it was kind of nice to watch a game knowing that, ultimately it meant more to Forest than it did to us. I was surprised we put the same team out, but I've got to say it was kind of nice to enjoy a game of football where, despite the 8,000 cynical fouls from the Forest fans, when both teams had the ball, they were both trying to play and both trying to hit each other on the counter attack. It was, I think, of all the 1-1 Monday night games for a neutral to enjoy, it wasn't a bad one. Mildly overshadowed by the game the following night in the Champions League, but I thought both teams gave a good account of themselves.
Yeah, I think so. I think as the game went on, we just shone through as the better team across the 90 minutes. I think, particularly in the second half. Really. Forest just being super cynical, which probably just shows how much the game meant to them and how desperate they were to try and get a result. But yeah, lots of fouls. I think Sangare committed one just before he got substituted off. That's a common trend recently of managers getting wires to when their players are about to get sent off, because I think he only had 4 recorded fouls in the match, but I think he had more that the referee allowed to go because Palace had advantage, that's for sure. But yeah, ultimately end with 8 yellow cards for Forest. Didn't feel like enough, as Hesketh said. Madley has another shocker. He's just such a terrible ref, and this all culminates in him somehow, Hesketh, managing to not spot Mitchell getting fouled not once but twice for a penalty in the same incident.
He was shit all game, the ref, but that is egregious. Like, he's looking right at it. It's very obvious. It's, like you say, 2 players. He gets punted by the defender, he gets punted by the goalie. And it's like, I don't know what he thinks Mitchell did. He was about to go around both of them for an empty net. Why would he just throw himself to the floor?
Yeah. But then it was interesting. I don't know if you watched any coverage after the game or not, and whether they talked about it, because the decision to book Sells and not Dominguez, who's already on a yellow card, seems to make no sense, because the foul that actually causes him, he might miss Sells if Dominguez doesn't foul him. He might be able to hop over him. So surely the first contact is where the first foul is, and Dominguez should be sent off with the yellow card. But he seems to bottle it and just take the easy option and give it to Sells. But weird decision for me. What did they say anything on there?
Not anything in that to that extent. Obviously, during the game, obviously because the game's live and the pace of it, they all seem to, the focus the commentary seemed to be, obviously it's the foul from Sells on Ty, but me watching back a replay, it was like, oh, hang on a minute, they could have fucking given it for the initial challenge anyway. Forget the goalkeeper, and they did sort of pick up on that in the post match. No one really sort of zoomed in on he should have been. I think maybe someone did mention it in passing, but it's just the fact that I know VAR have to say you might want to come and look at this, but in that instance they should be like, you don't even come to the fucking monitor. just give the fucking pen. Trust me. It was. Say there's two bites of the cherry as far as a penalty shout's concerned. So
it was without a doubt the quickest call to the monitor I've ever seen. Usually it takes him a while, but he hadn't even finished running back to the half, because effective it would have been a goal kick to Villa, and Forest. Sorry, he hadn't finished running back to the halfway line with his hand up, telling the goalkeeper not to do before he was on his earpiece. I've got to go to the screen. It was so fast.
Yeah,
excuse me one moment. Yeah,
we said that during the game. We were like, it's obviously taken no time at all for VAR to say, go and have a look. It still took him quite a while looking at the telly. That should be one replay. I got it wrong, penalty.
I think they were deciding who to book, basically. I think that's probably why he took so long at the screen. But, again, Anthony Taylor pre-match was on there talking about we want to get the decision right on the field. We don't want to use the safety net of VAR. We want to be making the decision on the field like refs would, and then VAR's there as a backup. in the same season that we've seen Mateta nearly be decapitated, and two of the best senior referees in the league on both those scenarios have bottled making a decision on the pitch and absolutely use VAR as a safety net when they are two of the most blatant things you can ever be likely to see.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. But with Walton in that in that build up, you saw that clip recently of Mateta saying he's been calling him Zidane since the Fulham game. Mate, he's going to the very top. Link with City again today.
Not before the final, I hope.
My outrageous prediction from the beginning of the season is just going to happen 6 months later, I imagine.
Stop it. I mean, I was surprised we played the same 11. I thought we'd certainly seen one or two changes in the middle of the park. Wharton and Kamada included in that. But I can see why Glasner's keeping him in because, it's been, listen, a player of that class, when he comes back, even if he's only 80% match fit, all right, he might not have a 10 out of 10 game, but a player like that, they come back and you can just see their quality, even if they're not fully firing or not as good as we come to expect every week. But, over that last handful of games, he really is where you could have rested him quite easily on Monday. You can just see that the cogs are turning a lot quicker and he's moving a lot better. And, he's just everything that or certainly most things that he's trying are just coming off. So you can totally see why Glasner's keeping him in and just building that momentum that hopefully culminates in some sort of man of the match performance against Man City before they might be for Man City.
Yeah. If I was asked to write a bit about every player in our squad, I think it would be a paragraph on each, and then I'd need about 4 pages for Wharton. In that aforementioned programme that you never read, Hesketh, until after the match. But but then we get obviously the penalty. The entire crowd groaning when Eze shuffled to take it. You ever seen anything like that, Hesketh, at a Palace game? You're on mute.
I'm back. Not like that. I do remember Watson having a penalty once and some people booing him, which is mental. But yeah, I think everyone around me when he had the ball was like, just don't piss about. And his sort of run-up started kind of normal and then he fell in weird, whatever that thing is. And like the Fred Flintstone. And then the entire ground groaning. Thankfully, he scored because it became quite funny. It was a groan and then a cheer.
Yeah,
like you just, oh my god, I hate it. I hate those. Yeah. I hate those run-ups. And we saw another one. Saw another one tonight in the PSG Arsenal game where he's pissed about with it and missed. Not Ebbs, obviously, but like,
even worse.
Those run-ups just fucking just lever it. I hate to be Sean Dyche Brexit, but just fucking punt it in the net, mate.
Yeah, it was funny. You saw Ebbs actually responded to it in his celebration, like he was very aware of what was going on. There was a lot of people around as well, especially when they replayed it back. Forest players as well, misunderstanding the rules about what you got to do when you take a penalty, because he took a step backwards in his run up, and so technically all that stuff you are allowed to do that. You, as long as you're sort of continuously moving to the ball, you just can't pause super long when you're at the ball. So because he wasn't at the ball yet, it's absolutely fine and he can do that. So the Forest players were probably embarrassing themselves a little bit in the referee's mind. You're like, well, this is technically fine because he wasn't at the ball, kind of thing. But yes, I'm very aware I just took the piss out of the referee there whilst taking the side of the referee. Forest then pulled one back. It looked like a very lucky deflection from the home style, but when you watch back the replay, it is brilliant from Murillo. Lovely redirection of the pace of the ball for it to fly into the corner. Yeah, sad really, because I don't think Forest really deserved anything from the game. we push for a late winner. Eze hits the crossbar and Ketio is one for offside. But we have to settle for a draw, which is, I think, fine, given that don't want to lose before the cup final or anything like that.
No, it's a decent result. They're a team that's desperately trying to chase down a Champions League spot. They're FA Cup semi-finalists. They've brushed aside better teams than us. So for us to, play a good game, and like you say, towards the end, we look like the only team that could have won it. All things considered, playing the same 11, working on that momentum, no one breaking down. Now I've jinxed it, touch wood, and coming away with a point. And like you say, a good argument that we should have won it, or certainly could have won it. So nothing to be ashamed of, I don't think, in that performance or the result.
It probably does mean that we are going to finish 12th.
We're fine with that.
Although I think we do have Wolves who are one place below us now to come to Selhurst. So. Okay, so settle for that point. Move on to Spurs, which is the last game before the final. Hesketh.
Yes.
Are we ever going to have a better time to win at Spurs at that new stadium? Their home form reads 2 wins from the last 12 home games in the Premier League, which dates back to the 10th of November. And those 2 wins were Southampton and Manchester United.
Bloody hell! I didn't think it was.
I think they've lost. They've lost to Ipswich and Leicester at that time at home as well.
I mean, if ever there was a time, I think I say every year when we have Tottenham away, I know we're going to lose to 0. Last year we scored. We lost, but we scored. Yeah, I mean, we pretty poor if we don't. It'd be quite Palacey not to get something from the game, to be honest. Maybe we'll get an injury.
Well, Adam Wharton hobbled off against Forest, and we still haven't heard anything really about that yet. So, but it did look more like an impact injury, hopefully.
Yeah.
Look, Harry Kane won a trophy this week, so perfect synergy is that we finally get a result at Spurs.
Have they got a European game tomorrow?
They play tomorrow, second leg, where they're 3-1 up against Bodo Glimt.
Okay, I mean, so they should be rotating that team a bit for us.
No, I think maybe if they, assuming they win against Bodo Glimt.
The next goal is vital.
I was going to say what we want is a Glimt goal early doors to rattle them.
But I think they've got some injury problems as well. I think Maddison is now been ruled out for the rest of the season as well. So I'm not sure how much resting they've got within them, to be honest. But whoever they're playing or not, here you go. You ready for it? They're fucking shit, and we should be running them over.
I mean, I listen. If Roy was here, we always beat teams below us. But Roy's not here anymore.
Who's below us in the league? I think Glasner might have a pretty good record against them too.
Yeah, fair.
4 points against United. We've already beaten Spurs. 6 points against Ipswich. 4 against Southampton. 6 against Leicester. Oh no, 4 against Leicester. Yeah, no, we're all right. I think we're fine.
Yeah, we this is a good chance for us to get a result. I mean, obviously they're doing crap. Their fans getting their back pretty quickly. I'd love this to be the one. I've only seen us score 2 goals away at Spurs ever, and I've been fucking about 10, 12 times. So it'd be nice.
Let's do it for Hesketh. Yeah. Come on, let's do it for Hesketh.
Thanks.
Let's channel 97-98 and Neil Shipley, and we'll get a win. Right, that's it. That's your lot for this week. Thanks for listening. Hopefully, go Spurs, get a nice win on the weekend, and then we'll be back next week to build you up to the big one. We'll have an FA Cup final special. We'll do it. It'll be like a 6-hour pod. It'll be like how it used to be on BBC in the build-up to the Cup final back in the day. It's like on all day long.
White suits.
Yes.
White suits. All right, good. But yeah, thanks for listening. Enjoy the weekend, and until next time, up the Palace.